Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets. Of course, it is the first day of trading for the month of April and also the second quarter of 2025. We've had quite a number of economic indicators coming out, including the APSA PMI, of course, gauging manufacturing activity for March. A slight improvement, but still showing that manufacturing activity is still in contractionary territory. In political news, we still have no deal or agreement reached between the ANC and the DA on the budget approval. So negotiations are still ongoing there. But seeing how the JSE has performed today, following the rebound that we have seen in the Asian markets after the sharp sell-off that we saw in yesterday's session, the all share up by almost 1.5%. That largely coming from the Resources 10 complex, which has climbed 1.58%. Almost similar gain on the Industrial 25 of 1.57%, and the Industrial 25, the Financial 15 ticking up by almost 1.5%. Let's take a look at the U.S. markets. And of course, it is the day before Liberation Day, and that is when the Trump tariffs come into effect. We have had the ISM Manufacturing Index coming out today, coming out softer than expected for March, signaling that factory activity still remains in contractionary territory. Also, labor data out. We did have job openings for February, also surprising to the downside. But all in all, those markets in a green territory, seeing a rebound there. S&P 500 up by almost 0.4%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq climbing by more than 0.75%, and a slight uptick on the Dow of 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening across the Atlantic, and we have had Eurozone inflation coming out there with a dip to 2.2% in March. Looking at those markets, also positive sentiment filtering through. The FTSE 100 up by more than 0.2%, the CAC 40 climbing more than 1%, and a surge on the DAX of almost 2%. Let's check in on the currency scene and start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Of course, quite a weaker picture that we are seeing on the rand. I think we'd gotten used to the levels of 18 rand 10, 18 rand 20 against the US dollar, but remaining relatively flat. Looking at the fact that yesterday it was at around these levels at 18 rand 38 against the US dollar, against the pound at 23 rand 75. And against the euro at 19 rand 86. Let's check in on how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.08, pound dollar at 1.29, and the yen just above 149 against the US dollar.